So this is without the attenuator.
All right. So what is a fox hunt? Anyone tell me what a fox hunt is?
More fun than a snipe hunt.
More fun than a snipe hunt. All right. What's a snipe? It's a game of radio hide and seek. So the fox will be hidden, and you guys will be the finders. We're playing a game of hide and seek here. So it's all about teamwork in this case. You go out in a couple of groups of 2 or 3 or how many ever you want to, and go have fun. Try and locate the radio. Why would we do something like trying to find a radio that we don't know where the location is?
I've worked on a couple of expeditions over in one of the other countries, and it was Australia, looking for koalas, and I found 100 koalas which were collared.
Nice, awesome. All right. So tonight, our objectives: by the end of the activity, participants will understand radio direction finding, use antennas to determine signal direction, practice navigation and teamwork, and apply radio theory in the field. That's if you come and show up to the fox hunt. Yes, sir.
I did ground search and rescue work, and when we go out, boy, being able to be a good fox hunter was an asset, because a lot of times the people that I was going to rescue had a radio, and we could zero in on their signal and find them that way.
Absolutely. Yeah, and I know Ken and I have worked where we basically had a lost scouter drill. And we have a scout with a radio go hide in the woods, and the object is to go find that scout. Obviously, for real world experiences, the more we practice that, the better off we are at finding a real live situation. So, all right, meet the fox. This year, we have an actual fox that we will be finding. So, no foxes have been harmed during the making of this. Well, he might have been harmed a little bit, but the radio transmitter has been inserted into the fox, and this will be we will be hunting the fox. So we're not hunting wabbits, we're hunting foxes. All right. Inside of there is a low-powered transmitter. I will be hiding the transmitter, and if you ask me real nicely, I still won't tell you where I'm going to be. You have to find me. And it's going to send a repeating tone. You'll hear this in just a little bit here. We still have to follow FCC rules, all right? So the fox actually transmits our call sign in CW. So the proper identification is still required. As the hunters, you actually won't be transmitting anything. You'll be just receiving signal. So what does that mean? Who's it open to?
Just everybody.
Anybody. Doesn't matter if you're licensed or not. You're not transmitting, you're just receiving. So anybody can play. Hunting equipment. We got handheld radios. I have a few of those up here. We got, what's my next thing? Directional antenna, a tape measure Yagi. If you don't have one of these, if you haven't made one yet, they're super difficult to. All right, they're really not. They cut a few pieces of PVC pipe, get some connectors. Totally, get a brand new tape measure and cut it up, what we've always wanted to do when, we're ticked off at tape measures. And that's really not, and then a connector to connect it so you can get your radio signal out of it. The center. The center one right up here, that's the driven element. The one down here at the bottom, that's the reflector, and that's the director. The director's up at top. So as you're hunting, that's sending the signal out. It's bouncing off of this one, and it's actually being directed by the front one. you can actually add more directors and pinpoint even further. So this is bare minimum. You can add 3, 4, 5, you know, whatever, how many ever more directors that you want. They just get consecutively smaller. And there's actually measurements on how to do that. They're literally pretty precise measurements to get it tuned correctly. All right?
Where do you have instructions at?
Right on Lamar's website, there's instructions on how to build one of these. So if you don't have one and you want to come play, if you know, you still have time to build one, yes.
Can you check on the link? I tried last night and I couldn't.
I'll check right now.
All right, Mr. Joe is going to check on that.
Come on this side of the table. Then you can see that.
It's a good idea. And you know, I have notes up here too that I'm not paying attention to. All right. So then there's helpful things. There's what's called an attenuator. I am not a very good solderer, but I built one and it actually works. Don't look at the solder welds because they're ugly, but it did actually work. This kit was, I don't know, like maybe $10, and that is the thing that helped us win 100% this last year. 100%, without a doubt, because once you get closer and closer, you can move all the way around, up, down. It doesn't matter. You're so close to the signal, the direction finding capabilities of the Yagi go away, right? So then you have to use other techniques. A map and compass are also very helpful, okay? We had this, JP and I had this when we were out there. So from the first spot that you start at, you find the direction that you think it's in, and then you draw a line from that point straight in the direction that you see. So you have to orient the map to north, south, east, west, right? And you set that somewhere, you know, somewhere, bring in the clipboard if you've got this. Make sure you have a map, okay? Set it down. Take your direction from your Yagi and go, okay, it's there. Put your compass down. You can actually use your bearings on your compass to find what direction it is. Set that down and draw a line. Draw a line from where you're at to the end of the map. Then you're going to move to a second location and you're going to do it again. And you start from the point that you're at that second location, find your direction, and you draw a line. That's going to get you an X, right? It should, if you did it right. And it's going to be fairly close, but not 100%. Then you go to a third location and do it again. And you draw a line. And your X's are going to start to cross over each other. And that gets you probably pretty close. 3 will get you close. The more times you take it, the more often you take it, the better off you are. So you'll be narrowing down where that fox is. And a notebook and log sheet also helps, obviously.
Some HTs have built-in attenuators, so that's not what many function.
Absolutely, yeah. They have a signal bar on there, okay? You can also listen for the strength of a signal. You can kind of hear it get a little stronger and a little weaker. So where it gets the strongest or where your signal is the strongest, that's where you're going to know. So yeah, direction, focus the antenna, the strength changes as the antenna rotates. And I was told, I think this is correct, that you want to hold it up and down like this, not sideways. So, because that's your direction of your antenna, so you're trying to match your...
Depends if the fox's tail's up or down.
Well, that's true.
Whoever hides the fox doesn't have, you'll figure it out though.
Hey, Nick, how often does the fox transmit?
The fox transmits, oh boy, I think it's like 20, 30 seconds, and then it waits like a minute and a half or something like that.
Changeable.
Yeah.
Mine's 45 seconds on, 10 seconds off.
All right. Yeah, I think this one's, well, we'll turn it on. You'll hear it tonight. I'll turn it on and you'll be able to hear it. Yes, sir.
What's the maximum range?
Basically, however long your antenna can pick up, right? And the antenna that's transmitting. So I'm going to have, if I get this done, this is Hooper J. If I get it finished, I might actually try and transmit from this, since everything's homemade. All right. But if not, it'll literally be this antenna. But I will have the antenna about 20, 25 feet in the air. So it'll be pretty far up there. We did test. John Paul went to Johnny's Diner. I went over to, and he was able to pick it up from there. So signal was good. We know that works. It's been tested.
The boxes can go up to 10 to 15 miles, so think of them as a bow bang in power. They're adjustable in there. We put ours like, I think, at 10 milliwatts because it's too strong at that point.
About 5 acres, and I said, go hide this. And he was like, really? I was like, yeah, I'll see if I can find it. Hopefully I can find it. So, and I was a little bit off at first, and then I tuned in the attenuator, and I walked up, and it was like right here. He hid it under bushes, but I was like, it's here somewhere. He walked over and flipped up the leaf, and it was under there. I was like, oh wow, I got close.
Is your attenuator strictly an attenuator, or is it a frequency shift? Because mine is frequency shift. The attenuator I have has got a 4 megahertz crystal in it. Yeah.
So you actually, when you get closer, you go up or down 4 megahertz at a time, right? So if you go up 4 megahertz, so the Fox is on
144 probably.
1.7555.
Thank you. Yeah, 147.555 is where the Fox is. So you'd go up to 151.555 or down to now I got to do math, take off my shoes, 143.2. Yeah. And then if you get closer and you're still not there, then you can go up or down another 4 megahertz. And you can actually, it'll narrow it in further and further as you go. All right. Understanding signal behavior. Stronger signal usually means closer, but once you get closer to it, not necessarily, right? Because then you're just too close. It can bounce off of buildings and other terrain. And you can have multiple causes of false readings. What might be some false readings that you might?
Yeah, reflections.
Reflections, yep. All right.
Bouncing off the car you're driving when you stop.
Oh, yeah, there you go. The loudest signal isn't always the right direction. So just keep that in mind. Go multiple places, take your reading, draw your lines on your map, and you're going to get closer as you go. Whoa.
And if they're really mean, they put a Yagi on a box and clean it to a water tower to throw everybody off.
One of my coworkers / friend, ham radio operators, was like, "You're going to put it on a Yagi, right, and bounce it and alter the signal and move the Yagi during the." And I'm like, "No, maybe next time, but not this time."
You want lunch?
Right? I got to eat. I'm starving here. All right. So step 1, rotate the antenna slowly. Step 2, identify the strongest or weakest signal. Step 3, take a compass or map reading and repeat as you go. All right, moving towards the Fox. Walk or drive in the closest direction. Stop frequently and check your bearings and compare new readings with old ones. Pro tip, small course corrections save time. One of the things that when JP and I we did our first reading at Johnny's, this was at another location. We did our first reading there. We moved to a second location, and the Fox literally was down at that point in time. It was not transmitting, so we couldn't hear it. So we kept going in the same direction. If we had heard it, I think we would have cut our time significantly, and we were just over like an hour and 1 minute to find it last time. But it wasn't transmitting at that second location, so we went a little further. But it is what it is.
So you're saying you should have waited at the second?
That would have been better. Wait until you hear the Fox, right? That, in hindsight, that would have saved us time. When the signal, close in techniques. Cuddle with your, no. Unless, well, yeah. When the signal gets very strong, use the attenuation, turn the antenna sideways, use your body to block the signal. So literally, you can take your antenna and put your back to where you think it is and start to rotate there and see. You can take your antenna off and just use the radio itself without an antenna. All of these things will help you get closer. Switch to a smaller antenna. Like I said, take it off. Navigation and mapping. Use landmarks. Practice triangulation. And paper maps will still work when batteries don't. So your cell phone battery dies, so you're kind of out of luck if you're doing your navigation all by your phone. And situational awareness, right? Make sure you're not walking into the street when you're looking for the fox, or walking off the cliff, the few slides before there. Remember, safety third, right? Not first. Teamwork roles. Possible team roles: the radio operator, the antenna holder, a navigator, a record or log keeper. All right, everyone can contribute. So if you have 4 people, you can give everybody a job. Yes.
Is there a particular map that you would use?
I just went to Google Maps when we did it, and then I think you did the same thing.
Wait a minute, we used to give out the maps at the start of every fox hunt.
We don't have the maps, so go to Google Maps, print one out. That should be, you're going to be close. Again, it's within a 5-mile radius, so it's not super far. All right, that's a good tip though for next year. We'll try and.
The map needs to be accurate for the compass to work though, so you can't have any distorted maps.
Is there a good location that anybody knows to go get an official map, like with a compass rose on it? Anybody know of a good website? Because yeah.
USGS.
I tried that and I had a hard time trying to print it out. USGS. So I don't know. If anybody knows of a good website for maps with the compass rose on there, I'd love to know. So, all right. Okay. So, safety third, here we go. Stay off private property. Watch traffic and terrain. Stay hydrated. Bring water. Bring yourself something to drink while you're going. Follow radio etiquette. Again, you're not going to be transmitting, you're just going to be listening. But the Fox will transmit, and it does stop and wait a certain period of time. So if somebody needs to break in for emergency purposes, we'll make sure we stop that and let everybody know. Hold where you are, the time's going to stop, right? All right. Finding the fox. All right. Locate the transmitter, identify the antenna placement, and examine the setup. So when you get to where you're going, whether you find it or you have to break the envelope open and get to it, we'll have an after action, kind of what helped, what worked, what didn't work, for everybody that's hunting. So we'll all help each other out for next year, right?
Don't take the fox. I ran into that issue with the young ones. They find the fox, they take the fox.
Right, exactly. All right, so there you go. We're going to have a debrief at the end. We'll all sit and talk about it and see what we could have done better. Printing out maps might be already a debrief for next year, right? What was confusing? So as you're moving around, if you have something that comes up and you're like, what the heck? I don't understand. Write it down. Have your note taker write down a note of what, anything that you're come across as you're doing the hunt, and then we can talk about it in the debrief and see how you could have done better, or maybe you come up with a good solution. What would you do differently? All right. And again, these kind of hunts will help in the future. You could have that, there could be that jerk that's transmitting, and you don't, we go hunt them down and find them and turn them up to the, to the bigwigs and say, hey, here's the guy, here's his address or her address that's transmitting, where they're not supposed to.
Well, I'm kind of terrible for that. There was a first responder in Ohio who got upset, took a rubber band, put it on his walkie-talkie, put it in his garage, and just left it keyed up. And it took, they couldn't figure out what was going on for a few hours. They finally reached out to the local ham group. 3 hours later, the hams had tracked it down to his garage.
Yeah.
Using the same thing you're learning about now.
Yeah. So there's lots and lots of different reasons to, to use this, to even today. So.
Could this help you find a noisy power line?
Oh yeah, if you have interference, this is maybe a way you can find what's causing it, right?
You can hear it on your radio, you can track it.
Yeah, absolutely.
There was somebody on 40 meters on 7.200. I don't know if you guys heard this.
Oh, yeah,
story.
Baptist church.
And he was playing music and transmitting one way, and that's illegal.
Yep.
And he got caught.
Absolutely. There, I brought in a FCC fine paper the other day or a few months ago, and that's basically they will fine you. They will, you will get a bill in the mail if you screw around long enough. So don't do that. Plus, you lose your license. It's not worth it. You get free bracelets and three meals a day, and a beginner. This is a strong signal and open terrain. So this is a beginner hunt. We're not getting crazy. I'm not going to hide it somewhere that you will have a hard time finding it. I do, again, talking to my buddy, he was like, yeah, we did one. There was up in somewhere up north. They literally were in the bed of a dump truck that was parked near a big body of water. So they were literally inside the bed of the dump truck, so nobody could see them even when they heard people walking around the dump truck, and they were just sitting there quietly, So lower power, a little bit more terrain. That's an intermediate, and then urban, multi-path, multi-foxes. So there's levels we can do. If you want to, we can do a more advanced fox hunt. I thought about next year for hamcation being a mobile fox, have the transmitter on me and just walk around and see how many people can find me out at hamcation. I don't know if we'll do that or not, but I think that would be fun.
We put them on a golf cart, and that's usually the bonus one.
Oh, there you go. All right, why fox hunting matters. Hands-on radio learning. Building confidence and curiosity, reinforce classic radio skills, and then old school skills, modern fun, right? So this is the modern day version of the old fox hunts. Oh, yeah. All right. Any questions? Yes.
How long are you going to give to find them?
Last year was 2 hours. Before we said, all right, if you haven't found it yet, break the seal and come find us.
But so when we find it, who do we tell?
You'll come see me.
Oh, you'll be out there?
Yeah, John Paul's going to be at the start. I'm going to be the fox. So he's going to give you a envelope with a break the seal. If you get frustrated and you're like, I'm done, I just want to go see where the fox is. Rip the envelope open. It'll tell you where I'm at. And you can go straight there. If you rip the envelope, obviously your time doesn't matter.
Put a tracker on you. What do you want for breakfast?
I'm going to use my handy dandy,
Check for air tag. We got to scan for air tag.
Yep.
So one way of finding out is you put a number on the box, so when you go to find it, every participant's giving a different number. So if I'm number 20, I go find the fox, number 13 is on the fox. I take my number, add that number to it, and then call out a radio saying, I found the fox in 33. So if you're going on no number, that's one way of confirming and you get a time. It makes it a lot easier to put it out there. So everybody knows you found it, they just don't know where it's at.
Yep. So for this one, John Paul's going to write down the time that you start. We're going to stagger the times. We stagger about 5 minutes. So every 5 minutes, another group will be leaving. he's going to write the time you left on the envelope. When you find me, I will write the time on your envelope, what time you found me, and I'll write it down in a log too. And then we'll figure out who found it the fastest based on left and found times.
What did you say your cell phone number was?
It's in, it's listed. It's all over the place. Not there.
Would you be willing to come to West Florida and give this presentation?
I will try. When are your meetings? You said?
Monday, this coming Monday. First Monday. Is it this coming Monday?
Yeah.
March 9th. March 9th, but it'll probably be the next meeting that
It's the second Monday of every month.
Okay. So I would love to say yes. My problem is I live here in Seminole County. I work for Raymond James. They're in St. Petersburg. Every Sunday night I leave here and I drive down to St. Petersburg, and I'm there Sunday night through either Tuesday or Wednesday night, and then I come back home and do the rest of my day there. So Mondays are a tough one for me, but I am absolutely willing to share the presentation if you guys, I'm happy to, literally I went to my friend AI ChatGPT and said, hey, tell me all the, build me a presentation on fox hunting. And, but I'm willing to share this absolutely for anybody.
Yeah.
So.
They can take the instructions we have off our site.
Yeah, you can use everything that's on our website is fair game to copy and but yeah, I'd love to come, and if I can find a Monday where I'm off, I'll try and make it work. But I'm usually on the other side of the state then. So, all right, are we ready for the fox hunt?
So what's it sound like?
The end. All right. So yes.